and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm Priscilla. I'm the owner of A Life Full of Simplicity. Today's video will be my February reflections, where I talk about the decks that I used in the month of February, the books that I read, and anything new that I got, and any other different things such as YouTube videos or anything else that was interesting to me in the month that we're in. So this would be the month of February. So I'm going to start off by talking about my decks. So the first deck that I'm going to be talking about is the White Newman Tarot. This is by Alba BG, and it is published by Liminal 11. So I used this deck in the month of February for different spreads. I actually started off the month with this particular deck, just using it for an in-bulk tarot ritual that I did. So I subscribe to Llewellyn's newsletter, and they put out a newsletter with in-bulk ritual from their new book, Tarot Rituals, by Nancy something. Can't remember her name. I'll put the name on the screen. And I ended up doing it. I didn't follow exactly to the T or to the letter the ritual itself, because it was like really the type of ritual that you would do in the sense of like sitting in a circle and lighting candles and then putting tarot around you, and I'm not like, I don't care about those kind of things. So I really just did it as an actual spread where it's like northeast, southwest type of spread, and then east is for new beginnings, south is for creativity, west is for healing, north is for abundance, and then you have to pick. It's like a journey, kind of like a story, where you have to pick wands cards for each of the points of a compass. And that was really interesting to me because in bulk has to do with fire. So it was using fire energy for the compass points, and then selecting one major for each divine ally. And the first divine ally had to do with boundaries, like setting boundaries. Secondly, had to do with what adds light into the world, into like my world. And the third ally had to do with what will change, like how my face will be perceived or will change in the world based on what I'm adding to it. So it was a very interesting reading. I used this particular deck for it. I definitely enjoyed it very much. And I love this deck very much. It's one of my favorites. So yes, I use this deck quite a bit. The next spread that I used with this, along with the Queen of the Moon Oracle, was the first quarter tarot spread that I did by Goddess Psyche. And it was just a basic 3-card reading, talking about like next steps and, you know, what's stopping me from taking actions, and of course how to remove obstacles or what to let go of. So very simple in terms of that. I also did a Mercury in Aquarius spread with this particular deck, one by Moon Mama Oracle, who's on Instagram. She does a lot of spreads, very interesting. I did one of her spreads. It was like a 6-card spread, but I ended up only doing 3 of the questions because sometimes I'm just not in the mood to do long spreads when I'm doing readings. I find the more cards, the less energy I have. So sometimes I like to just bring it down to like 3. So I did that. It was just really what my energy would be like entering that kind of transit, and what kind of knowledge I'd be seeking during this time, and then just some advice. And that was really it. With this particular deck, I didn't use this deck for much else. I did do some readings for others with it, but other than that, I didn't really use it for just the spreads that I stated in. And I do love this deck very much. It shuffles beautifully, and it has like some extra cards. I do have a full walkthrough and unboxing of this particular deck on my channel, so you can definitely check that out if you're interested in seeing more from this particular deck. Then the next deck that I worked with in the month of February was the Tarot of the Little Prince by Rachel Paul and Martina Rossi. This is a Lo Scarabeo deck. And I absolutely love this deck. This is my go-to for like love readings typically. And I use this a bit for readings for others this month. And I did use it for a few spreads for myself. I was a bit bored and I decided to do this morning coffee spread by Salt and Spirit Co. A very interesting spread. I'm not a coffee person. I don't drink coffee, don't like coffee, not for me. But it was interesting. Pretty much the questions were like warm up to the day ahead, what will energize me, how to avoid being overstimulated, and where to find comfort and indulgence were pretty much the cards, or the questions rather. And I really enjoyed doing this spread. I think I'm going to do it a little bit more often because I enjoy this. Probably going to be added to my spread box because I really love that. And I just love the energy of this deck. And I grew up with The Little Prince, so definitely something that's pretty nostalgic to me and what I grew up reading. I did grow up reading this in the original language, which is French. This was something we actually read in elementary school. And yeah, I just love it. The concept of the Little Prince is very interesting and how it's just like a child who tackles a lot of adult themes. So that's why I love it. And when you're a child, you don't really understand, but when you grow up, you understand it way more. So yes. So I definitely love this deck very much. Another spread that I did with this was actually just one for like shits and giggles or whatever that I did with a few friends. So a few friends and I, we found this like finding love relationship spread by Labyrinthos. And just for fun, we did it and we shared our responses with each other. And yeah, it was interesting, I guess. Not something that I really do for myself. I don't really care for readings like this. For myself, love readings and stuff like that. I find them boring, really. But it was just for, a little bit of fun. And I think it was like during Valentine's Day or after Valentine's Day or something like that. So it was just like a fun little thing to do with friends. Just for some laughs, like a good laugh. Other than that, I don't think I did any other spreads with this particular deck other than maybe some daily pulls. And reading for others. I think that was really it when it came to this particular reading, which is okay because I used quite a number of decks during the month. So yes, I do love the cardstock on this deck. I don't have an unboxing of this on my channel or a flip through or anything. If you want one, let me know, and let me know in the comments, and I will try to get that up as soon as possible. But yes, love the artistry, very nice. Comes with a little white book. It's just in a tuck box. Little white book is actually not bad, but yes. And the next decks that I used were the Everyday Witch Oracle and then the Everyday Witch Tarot. These were actually used for my daily pulls. I use them together. I always pulled an Oracle card and then 2 tarot. And I love these decks very much because they're a set, right? They're part of a series. So the imagery is the same, which is the kind of energy that I like when it comes to decks like this. And they just really work really well together. And I absolutely love the messages that I get from them. It was pretty good working with these for a few weeks. And I actually had no stalker cards, which was pretty surprising. So the messages were different every single time. And I just really enjoy that. And I love the energy that these two decks have together. Like we have the Chariot, the Wheel of Fortune, and then we have Air Magic, which is pretty nice. And the colors just work well together, I think. The Five of Wands with the Eight of Swords, and then Prosperity and Abundance. That's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting how there might be some kind of conflict with gaining that abundance. And I feel like it's like internal and external. So it's within yourself, but also other people as well. So yes, then we have meditation for creativity. We have actual meditation or yoga. And then we have like the King of Cups. So yeah, I just use this for dailies, and I didn't really use it for much else in terms of for myself. I did use the tarot to do some readings for others this month. So yeah, we have 2 pentacles with the water. That's interesting. So yeah, I do love these decks together. I don't have a walkthrough of these decks on my channel. My plan is to actually do a double walkthrough. So if that's something you want to see, just let me know in the comments below. Then the last deck that I worked with for the month was the Hedge Witch Botanical Oracle. This is by Silo Thompson, published by Llewellyn. And I only use this really for my word of the week. So I pulled a card each week and use the keyword as my word for the week or my focus for the week. I actually saw someone on Vero doing this. What's her username? Lightning Wildflower. And I found that very interesting, so I decided that I would do it for myself. So that's what I did. I haven't used this deck too much. I did get it, when did I get this? November, I think, or something like that. I don't know, towards the end of last year is when I got it. And I just really, I love the artwork. I do have an unboxing film that's just not live on my channel yet. So that should be up soon. And I just really, I love the keywords. They're fantastic. You really do learn about the plant or the herb or whatever it is in the guidebook, which is really interesting. But I had some good words come up. This one didn't come up, but I still don't know what this is. I forgot to look it up. But yes, this was a good one. And I definitely enjoyed that practice of having a word for the week. So I'm definitely going to keep doing that. I think enjoy. I think I got this word at one point. So I'm definitely going to keep doing that. And I'll probably use this deck again. Maybe I'll keep using this in March for my word of the week, because I really enjoy doing that. Really fun. Then we have some new decks that I got in February. I did work with this one in particular a little bit in February. So this one's the Cosmic Slumber Tarot by Tilly Walden and published by Liminal 11. This was sent to me for review by Liminal 11. The unboxing is already live on my channel. So this particular deck, I did do a deck interview for myself. And I just did my own interview in terms of my own spread, which is pretty much just 3 questions like, what are you here to teach me? How can I get the best out of working with you? And then some final message about the journey with this particular deck. And I did really enjoy the message and the reading that I got from this particular deck. I also use this for my full moon reading, and I did the spread by Lionhearts. And what I did was I pulled for each question, which was 3 questions. I pulled what is currently holding me back from being my radiant full self? What shift can I make that will help me realign with my full self? And then what am I asked to reaffirm that can empower me moving forward? So those were the questions in that particular spread. Really enjoyed doing that. It was for the full moon in Leo. And I just felt like this particular deck was great for that kind of energy. So I used it. And I used it in conjunction with my Moonology manifestation. Pretty much what I do with that is I just pull that particular card for the full moon. So I pulled the full moon in Leo, which is about going wild. So it's really about letting things take their natural course and then releasing what is not needed to allow yourself to have a little fun. And I pulled that, and I just wrote down the affirmation for that particular card so I can embody it for the reading that I did. And the affirmation was just, I live in the present and release all past pain, which was really good. which is really good for the particular reading that I did in terms of being or attaining my fullest self. The other reading that I did was the actual spread from this particular deck. So let me get that. So I decided to do this particular spread from the guidebook. I thought it was interesting and I wanted to do it. It's pretty much just finding the universe card and then pulling the first two cards before it and the last the two cards after the universe card. And it was really interesting. I definitely enjoyed doing this particular spread. And yeah, it was interesting. So I got some interesting answers. So the two cards that I got before the universe was, and the universe, by the way, is the world card, just in case someone doesn't know. I got Queen of Torches, which is the Queen of Wands, and Judgment before the universe, which is funny because Judgment comes before the universe, right? And then after the universe, I got Ace of Wands, and then their extra card, which is the Knight card. And I found that reading to be very interesting. The Knight card was a little hard to understand in the terms of the context of having it as a long-term goal, because the Knight is an extra card and it talks about just using the nighttime to progress in certain things that you're trying to do. And I found that very interesting. So I pulled a clarifier for that one and I got the Six of Cups. So I thought of it as, in terms of the Knight being face everything head on, I thought it was in terms of like past experiences. So learning from them to build on them or to build from them. So facing that head on to be able to grow, pretty much. So it was very interesting reading, and I definitely did enjoy doing that. I definitely want to do the other spreads that are in the book because they're very interesting. And I love the imagery. Honestly, I love this deck so much. It shuffles like a freaking dream, and it's a dream deck. So well, that's the premise of it anyway. I do have an unboxing of this. I think I said that already, but definitely check it out if you're interested, because this is just absolutely beautiful. Very interesting tower card. Love it. And then I just did a little thing where I'm trying to incorporate sigils into my practice, and I literally made a sigil for the universe. So let me just focus on. So this is the sigil that I made. Absolutely love it. It's so cute. And it literally just means the universe. So yes, very much enjoyed that. I don't think I did any other readings with this particular deck yet. No, I didn't. I'm excited to work with this a lot more and to see where this particular deck takes me, because it's definitely a beautiful deck. So the next new deck that came into my collection was the Mystical Medleys Tarot. This is by Gary Hall and published by Liminal 11. This again was sent to me for review by Liminal 11. I do have an unboxing. It's already live on my channel, so definitely check it out if you're interested. I didn't work too much with this particular deck yet. It's actually on my list to work with in the month of March. So I'm actually really excited. All I did was do a deck interview with this particular tarot deck, and just asked my usual questions, the usual spread that I made, which is just really what you are here to teach me. How can I get the best out of working with you? And then a final message about the journey. And I love this deck so much. Honestly, I had a good laugh unboxing this because it's so funny. And look at these witches, like it's so funny. I love it so much. I love this world card. Very RWS, honestly, very RWS. Easy to read, in my opinion. So if you're looking for something that's not traditional in the sense of like traditional imagery of like RWS, this is perfect in my opinion. This is one of the extra cards. Happy Squirrel. Absolutely the best. I love it so much. This is so great. Look how angry he looks. It's great. I love it so much. Gary Hall did a great job. This is the other extra card. But he doesn't look sad. He looks angry. I love the extra cards. They're fantastic. But they're so great. It gives you a really good laugh. I'm actually planning to use this in a friend's tarot challenge. So Mystic the Shapeshifter, Mystic dot the Shapeshifter, sorry, Mystic dot the dot Shapeshifter. I'll leave a link for their profile on Instagram down below. They're doing a tarot challenge going through all the major arcana. And I was like, this would be a great opportunity for me to use this particular deck for that challenge. That way I can get to know it better in terms of the major arcana, but also in terms of doing the spreads. So like every second day, there's like a different spread for the major card to go with a major card. So I'm going to start, it's already on right now, but I'm going to start it only March 1st. And when I'm filming this, it's actually the end of February. So yeah. So I'm really excited to use that with this. I think it'll be great in terms of just like getting to know this deck a little bit more. But as I said, very easy to read, honestly, very RWS inspired. And I just find it really hilarious because a lot of things have faces, and I just find it really funny. Look at this hangman. The tree has a face. He has a mustache. He has a leaf mustache. I love it. It's great. It's so great. Look at this death card. Very traditional, honestly. But yes, I love it so much. Such a fun deck. And I love having fun decks. They're great to use and less scary in my opinion. Especially when a lot of people are scared of like certain cards. Though I'm not scared of any card because it's just a card, but some people freak out when they get certain cards, so I feel like this is a good deck to have because the cards aren't as scary. So if you get like the tower, for example, you know, it's not as scary as like maybe some other deck. This hermit card is hilarious. Reminds me of Alice in Wonderland. So yeah, I definitely really enjoyed this particular deck. Reminds me definitely of, see, look at this tower card. He looks like he's crying fire. But yes, I definitely enjoy this very much. It's fantastic. And I'm definitely excited to use it more in March to get to know it some more. So another new deck that I got that entered my collection was the Seed and Sickle Oracle. This is by Fez Inkwright and published by Liminal 11. This is another one that was sent to me for review. And I'm absolutely in love with this deck, honestly. I ended up switching out my daily deck, which was the Everyday Witch Tarot and Oracle, and just sticking with this particular deck for the last week of February. And I'm going to keep doing that for March because I love working with this deck. And really what I did was I would pull a card and then I would use the Dawn guidebook in the morning and write down my reflection and then look at the Dusk guidebook in the evening and then add to that reflection with the Dusk guidebook. So I've really enjoyed doing that. And I've only been doing this for a week, so I definitely want to have another month with this particular deck to work with it a lot more. And I absolutely love this. I do have an unboxing of this on my channel already, so you can definitely check it out if you're interested in looking at all the cards and like the guidebooks and all that good stuff. So yes, oh, I love this mushroom card. Love this mushroom card. It embodies everything because I love mushrooms, and then it has the moon phases, which I love because I love working with the moon. And yeah, I just really, really love this deck. Oh my gosh, so well done. Honestly, I hope that Fez Inkwright does more stuff because I would love for them to put out tarot deck and then maybe some more oracle decks because this is great. Why was this upside down? Weird. Anyway. So yeah, I love this lavender card. So nice. Shuffles well. For matte, it doesn't clump as much as the mystical medleys, but the mystical medleys, I'm sure once I use it more, it won't be as clumpy in my opinion. So yes, I'm excited to work more with this. Definitely something I'll be working with more in March. The next new deck to come into my collection was When the Soul Whispered Oracle deck. This is by Melissa Salvaggio and Jess O'Connor. Sorry if I didn't pronounce the surname correctly. This is a US Games deck. I bought this myself off of Amazon, and I didn't know it was going to be this small. It's literally a small mini deck, Oracle deck, and I'm surprised because I don't really always see like Oracle decks in this kind of size, but I absolutely love it. Like, it's so cute, so perfect in the palm of my hand. Look at this gilding though, I absolutely love it. So I picked this up. This was previously an indie deck. US Games picked it up mass market, and I love it. It's so beautiful, honestly. It's such a great little deck. I haven't worked with it yet. I'm planning to work with it in April, and because it feels like more spring kind of deck to me. And I live in Canada, so we don't have spring in March. Like, spring starts in March, like at the end of March, but we still have snow usually. So I prefer to work with this more in April. And it's just so beautiful. I don't have an unboxing yet on my channel. It's not live yet, but hopefully sometime soon it will come. But yes, I do love this very much. The watercolor is beautiful. Honestly, this would pair beautifully with the Line Strider tarot, which I don't have. Not yet anyway. And it does incorporate like chakras and whatnot with each card, which is great if you want to work with like chakra energy. So yes, I do love this. Imagery is great. All I did was a deck interview so far, just to see how it will work with myself. But I'm excited to do more work with this particular deck. Like, oh, that's so beautiful. Transformation, butterfly, of course. We have truth. These are all the like the chakras. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm just absolutely in love with this deck, and it's perfect for traveling because it's such a small size, which I wasn't expecting when I got it. And I was like, wow, this is so small. But I love it. I absolutely love it so much. And look at these backs. I absolutely love the backs. They're great. The next deck that I added to my collection was the Next World Tarot by Christy C. Rode. This is published by Silver Sprocket. And I got the pocket edition. They changed the packaging to a matte black and then like a holographic like foiling on top. And they expanded the guidebook as well. I actually really love the size of this. It's really cute. These are the backs. Again, I don't have an unboxing of this quite yet on my channel, but I'm really excited to work with this. All I've done is a deck interview so far. I haven't done much else. Definitely interesting. I have no trouble seeing the detail. I know a few people that I asked told me that the bigger one would be better because you see the detail better. I'm contemplating eventually getting the bigger size, only because why not? Two of both. One to travel with, one to work with at home. That's really my my thing. But I do love this deck so far. I did go through all the cards, and I really enjoy the energy of this. Is definitely more of a political deck, which I don't have in my collection. I don't have a vibe like this in my collection, and I really wanted something like this. And I do love the energy of this. I love how it gives you all the extra things, like the planet and the element and the astrological sign and things like that. And these ones have like keywords on them, the minors, which is interesting. And yeah, I just really love it. I'm excited to work with this more. This is definitely a deck that I want to actually study because the guidebook is so extensive and goes through the cards so well. Like, some of them have like pages of text. That's also another reason why I wouldn't mind getting the larger size. Just the larger size is $62 Canadian. So I ended up getting the pocket edition because it was only $30. And I was like, okay, if I get the pocket edition, it's not as bad because I'm not spending as much as the large edition. And if I don't like it as well, um, then it's not really a big deal. To me, anyway, it's not a big deal. But I ended up really liking it. So I love this lover's card. And so I'm thinking about investing in the larger one as well. That comes with the larger guidebook and everything. But those ones are like huge. They're like bigger than my hand. So those are going to be interesting to shuffle. They're probably as big as a Blue Angel deck or maybe larger. But yeah, it's very interesting. Very like, this one says decolonization, rebirth. Like it's very powerful messages, very powerful imagery. And I just really love that. That's really what I wanted, why I wanted to bring it into my collection. Because it has a lot of powerful messages and it really talks about a lot of powerful topics that I absolutely love. Because as someone who has a social service degree, these are the kind of topics that I enjoy tackling when it comes to society and how things are today. So I really wanted something like this in my collection to fuel that kind of energy that I have. And the last deck that I brought into my collection in February was the Cosmic Creatures deck. This is a Mystic Mondays deck. It's by Grace Duong. And I'm super happy. I actually picked this up at the bookstore near me. And I was surprised that they had it in stock. It's a French bookstore, so they don't carry a lot of English New Age stuff. Their section is very small. So a lot of the time they have the same things over and over again. Or they have like one in stock of things. So I was surprised that I saw this. And I picked it up. It was one of my anticipated releases for this year. And I'm so glad I did. I'm really happy that my Mystic Mondays collection is now complete for now until she puts something else new out. And I absolutely love the art style of this. They are matte. They're very thick. This is published by RP Studio, same publisher that did the Crystal Grid deck, which I also have. I don't have an unboxing of this on my channel yet, though you can go check out the Mystic Mondays unboxing and flip through of the tarot and the Crystal Grid deck if you wish. That is live on my channel already. I put that up a while ago, I think last year or something. And they have some great animals. Love this frog card. It's so beautiful. It's in her signature art style that the Mystic Mondays tarot is in, which I don't mind. I actually really love this kind of very colorful art style. And the guidebook is fantastic. There are some mythological type creatures like the dragon, for example. There's a unicorn in here. Look at this duck. This duck looks a little odd though. Eagle. This bee card is beautiful. But yes, I've really been enjoying this. I actually decided to, and I started already, the Lionheart's Animal Guide Tarot Challenge, and I decided to use this with my Mystic Mondays Tarot. So this is what I'm using for that particular challenge, and this is how I'm using this deck at the moment. I love animal decks. I'm sure if you follow me already, you already know this. Animal decks are my thing. Love this chameleon card. And I have a lot of them. Animals and plants, those are really my things when it comes to my collection. And yeah, so I'm using this with the Mystic Mondays Tarot and doing and working through that challenge. I started in February because it was posted in February. And I'll be continuing that into March. So yes, the animal that I got was the sloth. So that's the animal that I got for as my animal guide for this particular challenge. And I'm excited to keep using it. I'm going to actually use it with some of the spreads that Lionheart's actually put up with that challenge. So I'm definitely excited to work with this deck some more. It's definitely interesting. And the guidebook is honestly really fantastic in my opinion. So keep a lookout for an unboxing or flip through of this, hopefully soon on my channel. Now I'm going to move on to books. I actually have nothing for YouTube, only because I didn't watch too much YouTube, and when I did, it was mostly unboxings and like flip throughs and things like that. So I have nothing to say that really caught my attention or something that I wanted to like share in terms of YouTube. But in terms of books, now I did mention this in my January reflections. I did finish this book, so I'm really excited. So this book is called The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. This is published by Fire Reads, I think. I think it's by Fire Reads, published by Fire Reads. You can see that I did put quite a number of tabs and things on this. Absolutely love this. Sorry, I hit my camera. I definitely enjoy this. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. My Goodreads is always linked down below, by the way. And I just absolutely loved it. So it's about this main character whose name is Clara. She's an Everwitch. Now, Everwitches are very rare in this particular plot, and there are witches that can control every single season. So the premise of this is that whatever season you're born in is the season that you can control or that you have powers for. So she can control every single season. She's a very rare type of witch, and pretty much is that she starts training with this other witch who's a spring witch, and they discover something about her powers and how she can actually save other witches from depletion. Depletion is like their way of saying witches that have died or passed on. And it's very interesting. I definitely enjoyed the concept because it talks about climate change and the fact that humans and witches need to work together in order to save the planet, because humans destroyed the planet by, pollution and like doing all these things that affected climate change, which is the reality of today, right? If we think about our own reality, climate change is a huge thing. And the things that we have done in terms of, factories and smoke and all these things, it's affected our way of living, and it's affected the animals that live on this planet, as well as like growing things, crops and things like that. So, and then also in terms of the weather. So this is like a big thing, and it was one of the reasons why I picked up the book, because I found that concept very interesting. And also this main character, she hates her powers because someone she loved, a friend of hers, her powers led to that person dying. So it was a very big thing. She hates her powers. She actually wants to get rid of her powers, but eventually she comes to accept her powers and the good that she's able to do with her powers by accepting them. And I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 stars. Fantastic read. Definitely recommend, honestly. If you like fantasy, kind of contemporary fantasy kind of books, you'd probably enjoy this, and I highly suggest picking it up. So, yeah. So this is the international edition. I don't know why. Anyway, I picked this up at this bookstore in Ontario when I went. And it's separated by seasons. So each season is its own set. So it goes like summer, fall, winter, spring, and then back to summer again. And she does go through like different tests, and it's just very interesting. Each chapter has, start with the first chapter. Each chapter has like a little quote in the beginning, and some of them I really enjoyed. So a lot of these are the quotes that I highlighted, and I definitely enjoyed that. I definitely hope that she writes more books because I like her writing style. So this was the only book that I finished in February. I'm still reading The Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney, and I'm still reading The 78 Degrees of Wisdom by Rachel Pollack. So those I'm still trying to get through. Hopefully maybe by next month they will end up in my March reflections. And then lastly, 2 books that I wanted to talk about because I picked them up in the month of February. So I ended up getting The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas, and I ended up picking up The Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. And I'm super excited. This was actually a book that I had on my wish list to buy. This one too, but this was like from last year. I think this came out this year, I believe. Does it say? I don't know. That's stunning though. What's the year on this? Yeah, 2022. So this just came out, and this was like one of them that I put on my wish list. Absolutely love this cover rather. This cover is stunning. I don't really know much about this, honestly. I do know that it is Asian, and I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if it's Chinese or what it is. Yes, Chinese mythology. Okay, so it has to do with Chinese mythology, which is really interesting. This is published by Harper Voyager, I guess it's like Harper Collins Publishers. And this is pretty much what it says on the back. So you can definitely pause and read that if you'd like to. But it seemed interesting, and I'm excited to read it. How many pages is this? No, that's acknowledgements. Well, with the acknowledgements, it's 503. What's the last chapter? Here we go. 498 in terms of actual writing. And then I picked this up because it's very popular, and honestly, I've heard good things. This is by Simon & Schuster Publishing, and I'm excited to read this at some point. Definitely excited. This came out last year, I think. Yeah, last year. So yes, very excited. These are the 2 new books that I added to my book collection. Let me know in the comments if you've read these. What do you think? Love to hear from you. Get some opinions, in my opinion. So, yes. So I do thank you so much for watching my February reflections. Let me know in the comments what decks you worked with for the month. Do you have any of the decks that I've mentioned? Do you have any books, these books that I've mentioned? Did you read anything in the month? Let me know. I always love to add to my own wish list and look up things as well, because I find that interesting. Sometimes I discover new books or new decks, which is always fun to do. So I do thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on that bell so you can be notified every time I post a brand new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it's greatly appreciated. Thanks so much and have a great day.